Hi, welcome to Raw Math. Today I'm doing a series of videos on rational expressions and equations. Rational means fractions, so there's a lot of fractions happening on these videos. And equation means there's an equal sign. The beauty about having an equal sign with a fraction is your first step is going to be clear the fraction. And by clearing the fraction, we end up with a much simpler equation to solve that's very straightforward. This problem is even simpler. There are two fractions, two terms. They both have the same denominator. The least common denominator is x plus 4. That tells us a domain x cannot equal negative 4. But when we multiply both sides by x plus 4, x plus 4, x plus 4, cancel, 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 we're left with x squared minus 8 equals negative x plus 12. This is a much more approachable question. Because we have an x squared and an x term, that means two terms with x's, our next step is going to be to move everything to the same side. I'm going to add x and subtract 12 from both sides. I have to get this equal to 0 because I'm going to have to be able to factor. X squared plus x minus 20 equals 0. This factors out to be, let's see, negative 1 and 20, negative 2 and 10, negative 4 and 5. This ends up being x minus 4 times x plus 5 equals 0. Your brain is going to go, hey, x minus 4, negative 4, not possible. But you got to finish this out. This is 0 when x is a positive 4. This is 0 when x is a negative 5. They both work. We could plug both of 4 back in here. 4 plus 4 is 8. We'd have to do the top two. I highly suggest you do this. Let's see, 16 minus 8 is 8. 8 over 8 is 1. Negative 4 plus 12 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 over 8 is 1. It works. We could go through and check the 5 as well. We have two solutions, and they're both perfectly acceptable. For our next problem, it's factored for us. This is beautiful. Our least common denominator is going to be h times h plus 1. That tells us that we cannot accept the answer of 0 or negative 1 as our domain. What often happens is you're really good at picking out the negative 1 as being a restricted number, but we often miss the 0. So we got to pick up both pieces. Okay, so I'm going to multiply each of my three fractions by h times h plus 1, h times h plus 1, h times h plus 1. My h's cancel and I have a 5 times h plus 1. My h plus 1's cancel and I have a 3 times h. Everything cancels and I have a 1. Notice there's no squared terms. There's not going to be any factoring. This is a nice problem. Let's see, 5h plus 1 plus 3h is 8h plus 1 equals 1. So we subtract 1 from both sides. We have 8h equals 0. So h is equal to 0. Oh, I missed something, didn't I? This should be a 5. 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 This should be a negative 4. This should be a negative 4 over 8. This should be a negative 1/2. I like double checking my work to make sure I haven't missed anything, and I missed something right there. Okay, so we get to the end. We have negative 1/2. That is neither of my restricted values. Come back, plug it back in. I highly suggest you do that to make sure your answer is correct. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks!